A weak leader kills more armies than any enemy ever could. The battlefield has always revealed one truth. Soldiers do not lose to spears, swords, or bullets first. They lose to hesitation, confusion, and the rot of weak command. Sun Tzu understood this centuries ago, and it remains true today. A business collapses not because of market storms, but because its leader lacked vision. A man fails in life not because of obstacles, but because he was led by fear. Leadership is not a title. It is the weight you carry when everyone else looks to you in chaos. It's the fire in your chest when others tremble. And if you are soft, distracted, or indecisive, you don't just destroy yourself, you take everyone with you. Sun Tzu teaches that the general is the soul of the army. If the general is fearless, the soldiers fight like lions. If the general is weak, the army dies before battle even begins. This is not just war, this is life. And today, we strip down Sun Tzu's brutal wisdom so you can lead with clarity, discipline, and fearlessness in the modern arena. Because in leadership, weakness is death. Strength is the only command. History does not remember weak commanders. It buries them in mass graves alongside the soldiers they condemned through indecision, arrogance, or cowardice. The lesson is brutal, but simple. The greatest enemy an army can face is not outside the camp. It is the general who commands them. Sun Tzu warned, when the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct, when there are no fixed duties assigned to officers and men, the result is utter chaos. A weak general does not merely risk defeat, he guarantees it. Think of a battlefield at dawn. The enemy waits, organized, disciplined, cold as iron. But in your camp, your general dithers. Orders change by the hour. Morale slips into doubt. Soldiers question whether victory is even possible. Fear multiplies. By the time the first arrow flies, the war is already lost. This is how most men live today. Their army is their family, their business, their own inner discipline. And yet they falter because the general inside, their mind, is weak. They issue contradictory orders. I want success, but I want comfort. I want freedom, but I want security. I want power, but I don't want responsibility. These mixed commands fracture the ranks of the soul. No wonder they collapse under pressure. The weak general hides behind excuses. He blames his soldiers for lacking courage, when he himself has none. He blames the terrain, the weather, the economy, anything but the fact that his own leadership is rotten. Sun Tzu would call this what it is: self-inflicted defeat. But strength in command does not mean brutality or blind pride. A strong general is decisive, yes, but more importantly, he is clear. His words strike like a blade. His soldiers never wonder what is expected. His vision is simple enough to ignite belief, yet strong enough to endure storms. Apply the following to modern life. This means clarity and direction. Set one course and march. Every indecision divides your energy like soldiers deserting the camp. Consistency in action. Do not change commands with every whim. Discipline comes from unwavering repetition. Accountability in defeat. When failure comes, claim it. Do not blame others. A general who blames is no general at all. Understand this. The weak general destroys not because he wishes to, but because he cannot bear the weight of command. Leadership is a crucifixion. Every decision costs. Every command risks blood. But the only alternative is chaos, and chaos is death. The world has no mercy for those who cannot lead themselves, let alone others. Your army, your life, will march into ruin unless you take the mantle of command with both hands and refuse to let it slip. Because the first law of Sun Tzu is eternal. Before you ever lose to the enemy, you lose to yourself. A soldier without discipline is just a man with a weapon. A leader without discipline is a disaster waiting to happen. Sun Tzu warned, if a general shows confidence but lacks discipline, he brings disaster. Understand this. Discipline isn't just about control. It is the spine of power, the hidden structure that separates victory from collapse. On the ancient battlefield, armies stood shoulder to shoulder, waiting for the command. One man's hesitation, one soldier breaking formation, could turn a line of steel into a broken mob. Without discipline, the strongest army becomes a panicked crowd. Without discipline, a leader's authority evaporates. Now translate this to today. Your life is your battlefield, and you are the general. Your habits, your routines, your decisions. This is your army. And every time you hit snooze, every time you indulge weakness, every time you excuse mediocrity, you break formation, you allow chaos to creep in, you kill your own soldiers. Discipline is not a prison, it is liberation. A man who cannot command himself will never command others. A man who cannot say no to his own weakness will be enslaved by stronger men who can. 3 ruthless lessons of discipline. 1. Small cracks become collapses. You think skipping the workout doesn't matter? You think one late night of wasted time won't hurt you? Sun Tzu understood that disorder starts small, like rot spreading through wood. A single act of undisciplined weakness grows into a chain, and soon your entire army, your life, crumbles under its weight. 2. Authority is built on consistency. No soldier follows a general who cannot follow his own rules. No team respects a leader who says one thing but lives another. If you demand excellence, you must embody it first. You want loyalty? Show consistency. You want power? Show restraint. Only then will others obey when it matters most. 3. Discipline breeds confidence. Confidence breeds victory. Sun Tzu said, "A general who disciplines his troops is like a father to his children. They will follow him through fire." When you impose discipline, you forge strength. And when you forge strength, you create trust. That trust becomes unbreakable on the battlefield of business, fitness, or war. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not loud. It is repetition, ritual, grind. But the man who submits to discipline does not become weaker. He becomes unstoppable. Every act of restraint is a weapon sharpened. Every denied weakness is a soldier saved. Every day of order builds an empire that cannot be shaken. The truth is simple. You are either the commander of your own life or the prisoner of your appetites. There is no middle ground. And when the battle comes, and it always does, it is not talent that wins. It is not passion. It is not luck. It is discipline. Because discipline is destiny. Fear doesn't just paralyze soldiers on the battlefield. It rots the soul of a leader. Before a sword is drawn or a shot is fired, armies lose because their commander trembles inside. And in life, in business, in fitness, in relationships, men lose not because they lack ability, but because fear is steering the wheel. Sun Tzu understood this. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious. But prudence is not cowardice. A leader who disguises fear as caution is already defeated. The battlefield doesn't forgive hesitation. The marketplace doesn't forgive indecision. The gym doesn't forgive excuses. Fear creeps in quietly. It tells you to wait, to delay, to play it safe. It whispers, "Not yet. Tomorrow. Maybe later." But that whisper kills more dreams than any enemy. A general ruled by fear cannot command respect. His hesitation spreads like poison. His men sense it, just as a team senses when its leader is weak. The result? Collapse before the first blow is even struck. Here are some tactics. Name your fear and expose it. Fear thrives in shadows. Write it down. Say it out loud. Strip it of mystique. When you name it, I fear failure. I fear rejection. I fear humiliation. You drag it into the light. Once exposed, fear becomes smaller, weaker, easier to attack. Leaders don't hide from their demons. They hunt them down. Convert fear into aggression. Sun Tzu taught that energy must be redirected. Water flows where there is an opening. Fire consumes where there is fuel. Fear is energy, but wasted energy if you freeze. Redirect it. Channel the adrenaline into action. Speak louder, move faster, attack harder. Fear is only deadly when it locks you still. In motion, it becomes power. Take the first step into chaos. A commander who waits for perfect clarity never moves. Life will never hand you certainty. The secret? Movement itself generates clarity. Sun Tzu's generals didn't wait for flawless conditions. They created momentum, forcing the enemy to react. In your life, send the message, lift the weight, launch the idea. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to walk forward with it clinging to your back. Understand this. Fear is the first enemy. Defeat it, and every other battle becomes easier. But if fear rules you, nothing else matters. Your strategies, your talents, your ambitions, they all rot before they even see the light of day. The fearless commander doesn't promise survival. He promises movement. And movement alone separates the conqueror from the conquered. Ask yourself, what fear is ruling me today? What battle have I already lost in my head before stepping onto the field? Either you crush it, or it will crush you. There is no middle ground. History does not remember the cautious. It does not etch the names of the hesitant into stone. It remembers the ones who dared, who bled, who carried the weight of command without flinching. Sun Tzu wrote that, "A commander stands for the fate of the army." One man's will decides the rise or fall of thousands. This truth is brutal, but it is also liberating. Because it means you, yes, you, have the power to shape destiny through your choices, your discipline, your courage. Fearless command is not about shouting orders or chasing titles. It is about embodying a presence so unshakable that your very existence gives strength to those around you. And here is the paradox. The fearless commander does not avoid fear. He devours it. He takes the terror of uncertainty and transforms it into fuel. He becomes the calm eye in the storm, the pillar that does not break, the leader who proves that when one man refuses to fold, the entire army finds the courage to stand. Here are 3 core tactics. 1. Leave no doubt. Your presence must radiate certainty. In war, hesitation kills. In business, in relationships, in your own body. If people sense you doubt yourself, they will not follow you. Project clarity, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Decide, then act, with no apologies. 2. Carry the burden willingly. Leadership is sacrifice. The fearless commander accepts the weight of responsibility while others crumble beneath it. He knows the sleepless nights, the tough decisions, and the unspoken pressure are the price of power, and he pays it without complaint. 3. Build a legacy that outlives you. Fearless command is not about victory in the moment. It is about building something eternal. Your business, your body, your mind, your influence. If you live only for today, fear will control you. But if you live for a legacy, fear loses its teeth. And so the truth stands, carved into the bones of history. Armies collapse under weak generals, but they rise under fearless ones. Your life, your business, your family, your body, all of it is your army, and you are the commander. So the only question left is this: will you lead it with hesitation and excuses, or will you claim the fearless command that history remembers? The weak will forget this message. The strong will carve it into their souls. Hesitation is the silent executioner. The general who doubts, dies. The leader who stalls, loses. Sun Tzu warned, speed is the essence of war. Not brute force, not endless planning, speed. Because the battlefield does not wait for your approval. Opportunities appear like lightning, brilliant, brief, gone in an instant. The difference between a conqueror and a corpse is the ability to strike before hesitation devours momentum. Picture the battlefield. A weak commander hesitates, weighs endless possibilities, seeks approval, stalls. By the time he moves, the enemy has surrounded him. His soldiers die not from lack of skill, but from his lack of decision. Now look at the modern world. In business, hesitation is bankruptcy. In fitness, hesitation is weakness. In life, hesitation is decay. While you're debating, others are already moving. The ruthless truth. Decision shapes destiny. Lesson 1. Momentum over perfection. You don't need flawless plans. You need motion. Perfection is the coward's excuse. Swift action creates pressure, forces the opponent to respond, and bends reality around your moves. Fortune follows aggression, not indecision. Lesson 2. Kill doubt. Before it kills you, fear whispers, "Wait, Think longer, play it safe. But by the time you've convinced yourself, the window has slammed shut. Leaders don't wait for certainty. They create it by acting. Doubt has no place in command. Kill it, or it kills you. Lesson 3. The shock of ruthlessness. Speed is not just movement. It is psychological warfare. The enemy expects delay. They expect hesitation. When you strike like thunder, you shatter their nerves. Swift, ruthless decisions break morale before swords ever clash. Your presence alone becomes a weapon. History proves it. Alexander the Great crossed the Hellespont with a fraction of Persia's power, but moved so quickly, the enemy's size became irrelevant. Napoleon shattered armies with speed of maneuver, not size of battalions. Speed is power because it steals time, the most valuable resource of war. And today, Elon Musk launches rockets while competitors are still forming committees. Fighters in the octagon who hesitate get knocked unconscious. The entrepreneur who waits for the perfect moment is still waiting, while the bold one already owns the market. So burn this into your mind. A commander who hesitates betrays his army. A man who hesitates betrays his future. Be swift. Be decisive. Move before fear infects your will. Because in war, in business, in life, hesitation is the coffin. When the time comes, and it always comes, will you strike like thunder? Or will you die in the silence of your hesitation? A weak leader is forgotten. A fearless commander becomes legend. Sun Tzu's wisdom echoes through every battlefield, boardroom, and weight room. It is not the strongest army that wins. It is the most disciplined, the most fearless, the most decisive. Leadership is not a position. It is a burden. And if you carry it with weakness, you will break. But if you carry it with strength, if you embrace the storms, face the fear, enforce the discipline, you become untouchable. The world bends to the one who commands himself first, then commands others with clarity and fire. Remember this: fear will whisper, doubt will gnaw, the herd will beg for compromise. But the fearless commander does not compromise. He does not stall. He does not seek comfort. He chooses war with weakness, and he wins. This is your war. Every choice you make is either training your army or destroying it. Every moment of hesitation is a crack in your fortress. Every act of discipline is a brick in your empire. So rise, stand at the front. Do not beg for power, command it. Live so that when people speak your name, it is not with pity, but with reverence. The art of war is not a book, it is a mirror. And the question it asks is simple: are you the weak general who kills his own army, or the fearless commander who leads men to glory? The choice is yours. The time is now. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel Project and comment the one truth you're avoiding.